Welcome to Chief Joe's Art Stuff. My name is Julie, and I'm here to impart some knowledge to you today via a 2-minute art tip. And today's tip, we're going to be talking about shading. I have met some interesting folks over the internet and through this medium over the past few years, and get some interesting art-related questions and stuff like this, but I've also made quite a few friends, and for that I am very grateful. One of my little online friends and I were having a discussion about drawing and all kinds of different stuff, and she was just like, I don't really have trouble with line work, I have trouble with shading, and I can't get this, and I don't know why. And I was just like, well, if you understand lines and contours, then you already understand shading. And, you know, so really all you need to do is reprogram your brain to be able to see value like a shape. And I'm going to show you what I mean. Basically, one of the things that kind of overwhelms people about shading is that they get all hung up in the little gradations and the transitions between the darks and the lights and where the highlights are and all that kind of stuff. But basically, all you're really looking at is how light is hitting an object, right? So, sounds easy. It actually is. It's actually much easier than you think. What's happening, especially when you're interpreting faces, for instance, was that your brain is naturally programmed to recognize objects, right? So your brain goes, nose. I know what a nose looks like, and it starts to interfere with what your eye actually sees and goes, noses look like this. You know, they're straight down the middle and there's two things, two holes. That's not the way that they look most of the time. And so that kind of interference is getting in the way of what your eye actually sees. And what you need to do is to retrain your eye to just convert the dark and light transitions into shapes. Stop worrying about what's an eye and what's a forehead, what's a cheek and what's a nose. Don't worry about that. And if you continue to find that you're having that kind of interference, you can actually turn the subject matter upside down and turn your work page upside down, because then your brain is less likely to be able to interfere with what you're trying to do. To kind of demonstrate this, I'm going to show you, this is an image here I just took off of the internet. A very attractive, symmetrical human being. But some people may be a little overwhelmed by an image that has this much like dark and light interaction going on in it. But what I want to try to convey to you is to start to see the transitions between the darks and the lights as shapes themselves. So what is this shape as it runs along the side of his face and curves around his jawline? What is this shape that runs down the side of his neck? This is a very complicated shape, but it's hair. The one thing about hair is it's largely forgiving, so tedious but forgiving. And then what does this shape that runs down the opposite side of his face look like? So when you look at this, you may go, oh, that's a very attractive human being. When I look at this and I'm trying to interpret it for art purposes, it looks like this to me. I'm looking at, what does that highlight shape look like? What shape is that? What is the highlight on the end of his nose? What is this shape that runs along the underside of his nose? What does his Cupid's bow look like? This funny U shape that surrounds his Adam's apple, all that kind of stuff, that is what you need to train your eye to see. Then as you start to finesse this and look at these various shapes, once you get good at making these transitions, the intersections between these darks and lights, these subtle changes, they stop being shapes of themselves, so it doesn't look like a color by number, but starts to delineate the various curves, you know, and nuances of someone's face. So that's how you do it from, you know, a cerebral standpoint. Just practice. Now, one other little tip, I would say human beings are hard. They're not easy. Start with something organic like a flower, or, you know, something that's a little bit amorphous. they're a little bit more forgiving when you're starting out, and you can kind of fudge a little bit more and nobody knows. So try that. This method, break it down, even if you have to like lay it over and trace it to kind of get your eye to retrain your eye to see that way, and you're going to have a whole lot more success at rendering and learning how to shade properly. So enjoy.